Hey folks, just here today to do a review of my Steinberg UR22 USB audio interface, 16-bit, 192 kilohertz unit. I did a video a while ago with the Focusrite, that red thing that I had, and I called it a preamp, and people were saying that it wasn't a preamp, so I'm assuming this is just an interface to it. It's not a preamp. Maybe it contains preamps. I'm not exactly sure, but this unit, I got it off my friend for $100. I think it goes for a little bit more than that in stores or whatever online. It's pretty good. Actually, I have no complaints about it at all. I use it to record music on my MacBook Pro 2015 thing there, and yeah, I've been using it for maybe 6 months now, and I actually replaced my Focusrite unit with it because my Focusrite basically just went insane at a certain point. Like, I had it for maybe 6 months, and then it started glitching out to the point where I was like losing my mind, and I needed another unit. My friend was trying to get rid of this thing, so I was like, yeah, I guess I'll get another. Like, I needed another unit to record stuff with, so I got this, and yeah, so basically, as far as like Steinberg goes, I used to have Cubase for my computer. I've used Cubase quite a bit over the years to record Steinberg product, and I always liked Cubase. The only thing I didn't like about Cubase was that it had this stupid dongle thing, this fob thing that you had to have all the time. But that's besides the point, I guess. But you know, that's my other experience with Steinberg, is just having experience with Cubase. But so I was kind of like, when my friend was selling this to me, I'm like, Steinberg, oh yeah, they make Cubase, and I thought, is this thing going to be annoying somehow because it's Steinberg, and I'm going to have to like be in some Steinberg forum when it doesn't work, and etc. So, but my friend was, pretty, upbeat about this unit, so I was like, yeah, okay, like, and this is like the third unit I've had that's like about this size. I had a Tascam that was also kind of crap that I had, that I think, did my friend give it to me? Another loan from my friend, a different friend, who gave me this Tascam unit, which led to the Focusrite, which I bought new at the store, which led to this, which I paid $100 for. So this one, give it top marks for what I use it for. Like, the back of the unit, like, has these, the MIDI ports and stuff like that, and it's got these two line outs that I don't use. But the hardware on this thing, it's got the USB thing that you plug in. So where's the thing? There it is. Yeah. So this thing plugs into, everybody probably knows this, right? So plug the USB in. It works good. The thing with the Focusrite that was like really a pain in the ass was just that it, like, something, I don't know what it was with the Focusrite, but like, you touched it and it would just like at a certain point, it was fine for like several months, and then at a certain point I just had to like nudge it just a little bit, and it would make GarageBand like basically lose its shit, right? So there was a point where just the Focusrite was like focused wrong, didn't work at all, and basically like would go out of sync, and would like the mics would, I ranted about this in that review, which is on this channel. But this thing hasn't had a problem, had it for 6 months. It's like a tank, I think. Like, it feels a little bit more like, when these things are like heavier, they're just a little bit heavier, which means probably the hardware, and it's German, so, you got to give it some props for just being like a good piece of hardware. Like, and I understand, even though I was kind of bitching about the fob thing with Cubase, like, I understand they just don't want people to steal the product, so it's like, that makes sense. But it was also annoying because I had to have this fob with me everywhere. I still have that fob after like 15 years, and it's just like, it's like taped up and crooked, and half, like it still works, but it's like without that fob you can't use it. But yeah, that's still like I can't help but, you know, talk about that a little bit in regards to the Steinberg thing. But at the same time, yeah, still love this thing for what it does for me, because I just plug in either, you know, a microphone thing, like a XLR into one of the two units, or one of the two inputs here, or I just plug my guitar in with my patch cord there into here, and basically I just like adjust. I usually just use one input. I don't do any, like, even when I record drums, I have a drum kit over here. I just use that microphone right there to do like the whole kit. It actually sounds pretty dope. You can check that out on my website or my YouTube channel. I'll link that in the description. But yeah, I get a good sound out of like just, you know, having one microphone, which, you know, it has to do with like that particular microphone being, you know, I forget what the name of that microphone is, but I guess I could walk over and look. I always forget the name of this thing, but it's a popular microphone. It's fallen down a couple times. Where's the name of it? Yeah, you guys have seen this, like this green thing, this MXL V67. Basically just mics the whole kit, and always sounds good. Like I put the mic there, it gets the kick. It gets like, there's not too much of any one particular thing in the mix. Like, you know, when you do drums and like you get, you know, too much hi-hat or something, like if you put a mic over here and it just like, of course, if you have multiple mics, it's good because you can turn certain things down. But I'm just saying that I get a good sound out of just like the one microphone deal through the UR22. And that's how I do drums. That's how I do guitar. That's how I do bass, because I just have, you know, I might as well just show you a couple of things here. So I use this guitar, which I found like in a pile of like trash one time. And then it was actually fine. It was just like in a certain location with a bunch of like random junk that was going to get thrown out. And I'm like, hey, is that a guitar? Does it work? So like it actually works. It's fine. I painted it, you know, put a CAA sticker on it, Marilyn Manson thing. And then I also have this bass here, and some other guitars, but this bass is the one I use. This Ibanez for bass stuff that goes through the Steinberg. And like I've actually made like a few albums with it, just like in my basement here, and it actually sounds fine. Sounds good. Don't need too much equipment. No, you know, don't have to. There's only 2 tracks and I only use one of them usually. So, but yeah, the hardware on this thing I find is very like the knobs and stuff like are very like, you know, where is the knob? Yeah, it's like very, you know, sturdy. Doesn't feel like it's gonna fall apart. Even when you plug in like the headphone jack, it's just like the 1/4 inch to 1/8 inch thingamabob there. With these headphones are, what the fuck are they? Just some Sony that I got at the source. Yeah, it actually sounds fine. My camera works pretty bad here. I'm not even really looking at what I'm doing. But yeah, it's got the input, or the jacks for the phones in the mix, the output, the input knobs, the peak, you know, regulator thing, all that stuff. I don't have to really deal with it like too much. Like if I just with the drums, I just like, usually for the drums I put it down to like here, and for guitars I put it up to like here, and for vocals it's like around here too. So it's like basically I have to give it, you know, 10 out of 10 just for being more consistent than like, you know, most things in my entire life. You know, most stuff that I have is kind of like, you know, falls apart, stuff like that. This thing's basically like a tank and just like does exactly, like if the music sucks, it's because I totally suck, not because this thing sucks. Like usually you can, that's the thing with the Focusrite too, is that I never knew what was, like the recordings were getting all wonky, and I thought it was like, is it my cables? Like, is it my microphones? Is it just me? I sound like shit. Like, is that my guitar is shitty, and like I just couldn't. At a certain point, I just started like actually like not knowing if it was like the unit or me, and I just kept tweaking it and fucking with it and being like, no, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just like, maybe the chords are suck or whatever. Like, you know, because once you get to the like, say for instance like this thing, right? Like if this thing's shitty, like I always have like 10 of these around, and some of them are shitty, some of them are decent, and so it can affect the headphone mix if you have like a crappy quarter to eighth inch converter thing, jack, and anything also in the signal chain can fuck it up. But I use GarageBand. You know, I'll just give you a quick, like, without, you know, letting you see what's on my screen here, because, you know, sensitive information. Hold on a second, just open up a project for fun. But yeah, this is like a typical project. Hold on a second. So yeah, this one, drum track, I'll just even play it, why not? Why not even play it? It's gonna play. Yeah, so, you know, drum track, and so forth. It sounds fine, put a little reverb on it, but yeah, coming through this unit, can make the interface makes a difference, right? Like if the interface sucks, then it's just one more thing that can make your recording sound shitty. But like, I actually don't mind the drums with the one track there. So yeah, what else can I say about this thing? Yeah, it's I guess I could talk for like 10 seconds about how it's laid out in a logical way. Like there's nothing really to, even a non gear nerd could figure out how to use this thing pretty quick. Like, I actually had a friend of mine who was trying to record some stuff at her place, and she was asking me what preamp I use and stuff, and I'm like, well, I know this is maybe not technically a preamp, but I'm like, the thing between the instrument and your computer, this interface thing, I actually recommended this, and I'm just like, yeah, you should get this thing. It's just like, you know, it's not confusing. You plug it in, and then, but I guess the problem in her case was she was using Audacity, and she's not super, you know, familiar with Audacity. So she's like, I can't record 2 tracks at once and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, yeah, that's what I don't really fuck with Audacity. It's not like, I always heard it was easy and stuff, but I've used it a few times for certain things, but I think I have it on this machine actually, but I don't use Audacity for music. So I just use GarageBand. I was using Logic for a bit. Yeah, so I was using Logic, and then I was just like, I don't even really need Logic. Like, GarageBand has enough. Like, Logic is basically like GarageBand, like on steroids, kind of. So it looks the same exactly, interface-wise. Like digital audio workstation. That's like, it just looks the same. Like Logic and GarageBand look kind of the same. So I was just like, well, I don't even need all the stuff that's in Logic. So I switched back to GarageBand. Like, I used to use GarageBand like 20 years ago when I first got a Macintosh that it just came with GarageBand. So I was like messing with loops and stuff and making songs out of that kind of stuff. But now I just record stuff whenever I'm in the mood. I just basically plug in and just like throw down a metronome, and I basically record tracks that way. Drums I always do with a metronome, but you know, and that has nothing to do with the Steinberg here. But anyway, yeah, so I recommend it. I haven't watched any other reviews of this thing, so I don't know what other people are saying about it, but I just have no problems with it, and I guess you get that idea by now. Oh yeah, one more thing. As far as like when I use this Akai Mini over here. So that actually like doesn't need the Steinberg. It actually just goes direct into the thing as well. It's got the USB connection too. So I'll have to review that some other time, unless I already did review it and I forgot. But it's pretty cool, but I use that for keys and stuff. So anyway, peace out. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, etc. Bye.